All right, as we prepare for hurricane season, we're also in the midst of a global pandemic, and that means making sure you have a plan together and you have emergency kits together. Joining me now, President of Central Florida Ace Dealers, Cade Carter. Thank you for being with us.
Bridgett, thank you for having us on today.
This is just such a busy time, and I think people are already in this mode of like, I need to prepare, I need to get things together. So, we're already in the pandemic and lots of people have come in for supplies, obviously. So now what do we need to add to our supplies and our kits as we get ready for hurricane season?
Yeah. So one thing we always try to encourage people to do within our communities is prepare ahead of time for hurricanes as we get into the season. And the easiest way to do that is to just simply build a hurricane kit. And what that can look like a big Tupperware container that you have in your garage somewhere or stored somewhere within your house. And you have your essential items in there, such as batteries, lights. You can have a few gallons of water stored in there. Here's a unique thing: a lot of people keep tub stoppers in there, simply because if the power goes out or if the running water goes out, people usually will fill their tubs up when we're expecting a storm. They can use that water in the tub to then flush the toilet with. So these are just little items. There's our team here at Ace Hardware, all the Red Vested Heroes are used to putting these together for people in the communities. It's as simple as you don't have to have any idea what you need. All you need to do is walk into an Ace store, find someone with a red shirt on and say, hey, help me build a hurricane kit. And that's as easy as it really can be. The beautiful thing about doing this now in June, July, instead of waiting till we're kind of in high alert times, August, September, when we start to see these storms more frequently, is you can do this with no stress. You can shop these stores when they're not busy, and not feel like you're competing for these high demand supplies when the storms are on their way here. And what I always like to tell people is just sit back and think. Pretend you turn on Channel 6 News and there's a hurricane coming this week.
Right.
Most of us would get a feeling of stress, right? Now think if you already had all your materials and everything put together, you feel that stress kind of lift off.
Yeah.
And so that's what I tell people is just go ahead and get everything ready. And that way, if and when you turn on Channel 6 News and they're telling you, hey, there's a possibility of a storm coming, you don't have to feel that stress. You've already prepared. You have those high demand items and you're ready for it. And we're always praying that the storm misses us and turns. But in the event that one comes, you're ready and you have everything you need. And it's as simple as just walking into the store and finding a red shirt and letting one of our helpful Ace guys put it together for you.
Cade, how have you prepared for, or how do you anticipate preparing for sort of this overlap of people worried about, their health in terms of the virus versus their physical health in terms of a storm threat, and making sure you have enough supplies?
Yeah, great question. Our stores right now are open. Most of the stores are running within the hours of 7 to 7 or 7 to 6 or sometime within that. Every local store has different hours, so check your local store for the exact hours. But I would say if you're healthy and low risk, you're welcome to come into the store and let us help you. You're also welcome to call in, and we can help put products together for you over the phone, and you can pay for it over the phone, and we'll walk them out to your car. You can buy online, pick up in store if you feel comfortable doing that. There's many ways that Ace, we're allowing our customers to shop now in our communities to get those supplies. And so as we're being smart and cautious of our current environment, right, we're doing everything we should indoors we're cleaning, we're sanitizing to create a safer environment. We are aware that, hey, we are approaching hurricane season, and we shouldn't take this lightly. We need to make sure all of our communities are ready. And right now we're finding that a lot of our seasonal people in the community we have a lot more than here right now who are probably considering staying here through hurricane season when usually they'll go back up north. And so if that's the case for you, maybe you're not used to putting a kit together because you're not here during the season. But we're here to help you also prepare too for that.
When you think about the items you need, what have you had trouble like keeping enough of? Like what's going as soon as you get it back on the shelves right now?
Okay, right now, I'll have to say that most of our inventory levels we're able to stay in stock on a lot of like right now we have, and again, every Ace store is different. But I think all of your local Ace stores have done a great job. Right now we have sanitizer on the shelf. And I'll speak for our store here behind me. We have hand sanitizer on the shelf. We have masks for people to wear if they like masks. And so we do have a lot of those materials right now on hand. And I'd say it's rare when we're out of things. At this point, we saw that a lot when the pandemic first hit and the state was first shut down. But I'd say most of your stores are doing a great job getting product in. And if they don't have it right now at the current moment, it's probably not going to be long before they get things and that you'll need.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys did a big donation of masks a while back to some different first responders. And so you're saying that a lot of those supplies now are a lot easier to get, like as time's gone by?
Absolutely. And so when we first, because we were all in a very uncertain time, and this was probably, let's just go back 30 days ago. A lot of experts didn't know what to expect and what kind of strain this would have, and so a lot of those masks were very, very high demand. They were really hard to find. So we wanted, to make sure our local communities and first responders had them because we know how important that was. And so now as I guess experts and authorities are starting to shine a little bit more light on this pandemic and I think they have a little bit more understanding of the trend. We're able to find these items more, and I think there's less scurrying around for them, and everyone should feel comfortable being able to get them.
What can you say in terms of people, taking only what they need? How can we measure what we need and not to hoard, because the next person also needs these important supplies?
Yeah, great. That's great. And so everyone's needs are different. A mother of 5 children will need probably more hand sanitizer than just a single person coming in for themselves. So everyone's needs are different.
Yeah.
And we're respectful of that. And we ask everyone else to be respectful of that. And I'm not going to tell you what your specific needs are, but we ask each person when they come into the store to just keep that in mind, to get what they need. And I'm not going to judge someone who's buying, say they're buying 5 bottles of hand sanitizer, and because they could be buying for their family or their friends or other people who really need more for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd say as long as in our hearts we're doing the right thing and we're not hoarding and trying to be selfish with it, then that's what we ask of everybody, in these times right now. But I'd say we're doing a pretty good job of replenishing stock when we run low on it right now. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Right. And I think it's definitely changed the way you stock the stores with this pandemic and now heading into hurricane season. So do you anticipate, sort of shifting the displays around a little bit more to make room for everything?
Oh, absolutely. That's absolutely. If there's one thing that your local stores know, it's the seasons and what each season brings, because we all live here in the same neighborhoods you live in. Most of us have been in these communities for generations. And as we approach hurricane season, yeah, of course, we'll have plenty of supplies ready for that. We'll have generators on the floor ready for purchase also. And you'll be amazed by how much stuff that we can fit into these little Ace Hardware stores.
And when we talk about sort of what we're going through right now, what have you noticed in terms of people trying to do more things themselves than coming in or calling in? Have you seen an uptick in a lot of DIY projects? What have you been seeing?
Absolutely. We have a lot of people, when they have things break, they're fixing it themselves, just because I think they feel more comfortable doing that right now in these times, and which is great. And Ace Hardware, coming in and finding, again, one of your helpful hardware guys or ladies, it's like it's like just as easy as going on YouTube and figuring out how to do a project yourself. You can walk into an Ace store, find a red vested hero, say, hey, this is the project I have going on right now, help me with it. So whether you're, let's just use for an example, if you're fixing a broken pipe, you may not know anything about it, take a few pictures with your phone, come into the store, find a red shirt, and we'll walk you through that project. And that's the case for lawn maintenance. Maybe you have some pest issues and you need some help with that. We can walk you through that process. We can walk you through a painting project on what you need for that job. And so what's so cool, and I think this is why so many people love coming in and seeing us, is you don't have to be an expert. And we're here for that homeowner and that DIYer, the do-it-yourselfer who knows nothing about a project. And that's the most important thing we have going on in our day is your project. And we like it. Yeah, honestly, a lot of us are experts in different trades, plumbers, electricians, painters. In our past lives, we've all done different things. And we love walking people through these projects, and it's fun. And you get a sense of accomplishment and purpose within your communities. And that's why we exist, is to help people.
And tell us about getting prepared and, in terms of being an essential business and looking forward to hurricane season, how that plays into things with, helping people get prepared at, these different hours of the day, or, having to close down early. How does that play into coming into the supply stores?
Yeah, great question. So every Ace store is locally owned, locally operated. So all of us choose our own hours, and which gives us the flexibility. We're not blanketed. So if the store hours are mandated to change in certain counties, that doesn't mean that all Ace stores have to change their hours. And in most cases, we are an essential business. We've been doing this for 95 years. And when the going gets tough, we get going. And so whether it's hurricane season and the power's out, we have generators, we turn the generators on and our doors are open. And we may be handwriting receipts for people and doing cash only, but you can bet 9 times out of 10, our stores are going to be open because people need those things. If they have major repairs that need to be done to their home, we are there for you. We're going to be open. We're going to make sure everyone's safe first, obviously the priority, but second, we're going to do everything we can to have our doors open for the people. So you can count on us. In most cases, you can bet that local Ace Hardware store is going to have their doors open when a lot of other places may be shut down.
So from pandemic to hurricane, what are some of those supplies you have people might be surprised to find? Because, you start looking and, sometimes you're trying to calculate, okay, how can I get things with the least amount of stops on this errands trip?
Yeah. So right now we have plenty of cleaning supplies on hand. Let's talk pandemic. We have plenty of cleaning supplies on hand. We have sanitizer, bleach, sprays. Most stores have masks, soap. So we have plenty of that stuff on hand. Come here if you're low on that. Check with us. Call your local store for inventory levels. Odds are we're going to have it. While you're here, grab your red vested hero and ask them to help you build a hurricane kit. And so we'll go ahead and we can put what we're going to do is we're going to ask you questions and we're going to see what your needs are, because we don't want to sell you things you don't need. You may already have batteries. You may already have a flashlight. You may have a weather radio. You may have a generator already, and you may need just help hooking that up and know what cords to use. And so we're going to ask you your needs, and we're going to go through and make sure that you have everything. Maybe your project is you already have those essential items, but this year you want to do storm shutters. So we can help you build storm shutters for your house. We have, a lot of us have plywood. We have the anchors used to make the storm shutters, and we can help you with that project.
What about if you spring a
So
leak during the storm?
yeah, if you spring a leak during the storm, we always recommend putting a tarp in that hurricane kit. Usually, this, and we as Central Floridians, we've been through plenty of hurricanes, right? And we know that the storm usually lasts, the rough part of it, a few hours. It's the after part that we're, that's when we got to get out there and put that tarp up and fix those leaks. During the storm, if you got a roof leak, you put a bucket underneath and we can sell you the bucket. We don't encourage being on the roof.
Tarp, Cade, right?
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Strapping, strap ropes. We have chainsaws for after the storm. You want to see a cool picture?
Sure.
This is from last year. When we had a lot of trees go down, we brought in a lot of chainsaws for people. Schools were closed, so my daughter was helping out, Isabella. We're putting these chainsaws together. You can see her holding that one right there.
That's awesome.
It's bigger than she is.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's big. So she was helping out, put chainsaws together. It's a whole family operation. My wife works in the business too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a lot of preps still need to be done. So, even though people might be a little fatigued from all of the preparedness they've already been in with the pandemic, it's important to go ahead and start working on these kits.
Yeah, and what I guess the message I have for people is, whether it's preparing for a hurricane, whether it's getting the supplies you need for a pandemic, or whether it's a home project, or you're fixing something, is you don't have to feel any stress about it. It's as simple as getting in the car, driving to your local Ace store. Most everyone in Central Florida lives within 5 miles of an Ace store. And it's as easy as driving into the store, walking in, finding a red shirt, and letting us walk you through whatever project you have. Because you have local experts that literally exist to help you with the hose at your store or in your communities.
And if you can't come in, you can also help us work around that too.
Oh, absolutely. You simply call, and we'll spend some time on the phone with you. We'll help you get what you need on the phone. We can do your transaction on the phone and then take it out to your car when you pull up.
Awesome. But the main takeaway is to plan and prepare now to save on that stress later.
That's exactly right. Make it easy.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Cade. Cade Carter, president of Central Florida Ace Dealers.
Thank you, guys. We're here for you.
All right. Well, I think that will be great. I think they can use that. And is there anything else you want to record while we have this call that maybe I didn't touch on that you just want to get in some more bullet points, because we're still recording and we can clip it in later?
I would just like to say, I would like to thank our local communities for trusting us and choosing us, your local Ace Hardware store, to do business with. And it really does go full circle when you shop local. It's so much more than you're buying a screwdriver or buying a gallon of paint. You're really helping your communities out, and so many of these local stores and local owners do so much more within the communities than most people know about. And it's as simple as just having a conversation with the owner or the staff. And it's really incredible what these people are doing for their communities and things. And so you should feel really good when you go in and shop, at your local Ace Hardware store. It's so much more than just buying a product.
Well, thank you so much. And we thank you for, all the work you do and being there, as one of the mainstays.
Thank you.